Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round number 9 of the Nemesis Online Racing League Championship. Here, coming live from Austria. And, after what was an eventful race in France, certainly towards the end, with the mistake of Addy costing him the win of the race, and ultimately that mistake spinning at the first chicane. Him losing by 64 thousandths post penalties. I'm sure he'll be absolutely kicking himself after that one. And he'll be looking to bounce back strong here in Austria as we're about to get underway here for qualifying. And of course, a relatively short lap here around Austria. We're expecting to see around about 1 minute 5 for our pole time as we'll move slowly up towards the front of the grid. You can see some people here are on the medium compounded tyres, and we have a Ferrari of Ragnar running extremely wide there indeed. Let's now head down the straight into turn 4, a very difficult right-handed corner. So now accelerate out of it and come into the middle sector now. A very nice double left-hander coming up here, very easy to run wide, like Val almost very nearly did. But you got to make sure you carry through the speed through this very high speed part of the track as you now come up towards the final 2 corners now. Very fast right, which you have to take as much speed as absolutely possible. But a mistake a little there from Val. But it looks like we're going to have Addy on pole. A 1 minute 5.1 on pole by half a second, if you don't mind. It's Addy on pole. And there we have it. Addy on pole by half a second ahead of Bolt. Ragnar in 3rd, Chili Killer 4th, J Hobson UK in 5th, Dougie Ackerman 6th, Maverick in 7th, Val in 8th, Testmeister 9th, Ethan Spenner 10th, Chazza all the way down 11th. I assume he's made a mistake there. Has Chazza Lower Power in 12th, Skull in 13th, and Murcielago at his home Grand Prix has been disqualified from the session. And he will round up the back of the grid. As now the drivers have loaded into the lobby and they begin, of course, the formation lap, which we have to go through, but it certainly looks a little bit dark here in Australia. We could see some cloud cover come over in the second part of the race. Who knows, there could be some rain that rolls through the mountains. Just get the championship standings up now after the French Grand Prix, of course, this time last week. And here we go, we have Bolt in the lead of the championship ahead of Ed, who's on 151 points. Then we have that's Bolt on 151 points. Ed on 137. Addy is on 114. Ragnar is on 86. Chaz on 68. Val on 54. Chillikilla on 50. And that is as much as I'm reading because my eyes are absolutely killing me. As Ed is saying kill me, Addy better win. Of course, he is hoping that Addy wins. He doesn't want Bolt to be winning, as Ed is starting all the way down to 15th, so going to have to really keep an eye on Ed in this Grand Prix. I'm sure in these 36 laps he will be absolutely flying through. And of course, a very short lap, so we're in here for a very short and surely action-packed race. As now the drivers begin to line up on the grid. For the start of the race, the Haas drivers being forced to wait now, but here we go. The Red Bulls lined up, the Mercedes, and now the McLaren. And here we go. 5 lights. Lights out and away we go. We have a massive jump start by the Renault there, who's almost going to go into the lead of the race, but it looks like Addy. Oh, and then Alfa Romeo is absolutely clarted. The Renault, the Ferrari there. I don't know what on earth has gone on there, but absolute chaos, and it's a Renault 3 and 2 as we've got about 4 cars wide there as the Toro Rosso goes up the inside, the Red Bull further back. Chazza is up into 6th place. Val is in 7th as there's absolute chaos behind. Chillikilla, I believe, who was involved in the incident at turn 1 where he absolutely punted Ragnar off. As we have J Hobson UK here challenging Doug Yafferman. But we'll see Ayrton Spencer here. He will be going into the pit lane at the end of this lap after he jumped the start absolutely massively. But Ragnar, he's really suffered. He's all the way down in 12th after that. I don't know if he has any damage, but it was not looking good. As Murcielago looking to make a move on Testameister, not quite in the final sector. Testameister seems to be struggling all over the place. And speaking of struggling all over the place, is Val nearly goes into the wall there, as we have J Hobson UK nearly hitting the back of Doug Yafferman, and that's going to allow Chazza to get past very comfortably up into P4. And there we go. Ragnar's got a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. It's only been a lap and a half. As the Red Bull trying to come back at the Ferrari there. But Chazza says, no, you're not doing that. As Testameister up the inside of L. Up into P7 as Ragnar is now up into P9. Well, it's been a very chaotic start as per usual. A little bit more chaotic than usual, I'd actually say. We don't see that heavy contact into turn 1 usually, especially up that far up the grid. We have Val. He should be quicker at this stage of the race. He's on the soft compound tyres compared to Testameister on the medium compounded tyres. He looks to have gotten a better run out of that chicane, but of course, he's not going to get a chance to make a move up the inside here into this fast right-hander as we have Eggs in sector 3 as Val now runs a little bit wide through the final corner. But Bolt is just within a second of Addy here, and if he can stay within a second, of course he will get the also important DRS, and he should be able to just hang with Addy and then eventually trundle up to the back and make a move on the Haas driver. And here we go, he does indeed have DRS. As Testameister has thrown it up the inside of Chillikilla here for P6. He has DRS, I believe, and yes, he does. There's also an Alfa Romeo behind. His teammate, Valerio, he's also trying to get involved in this. But it looks like it's going to be the McLaren up the inside, along with Val up the inside from absolute nowhere. He's up the inside now. He's trying to get past Testameister. He covers off his Alfa Romeo teammate, and Val is up into P7. Very well done there by the Italian driver. As Chillikilla himself has now picked up a 3-second time penalty after 3 laps. It's going to be penalties galore by the looks of it here, as Bolt really hasn't been able to take super advantage of having the DRS, but one thing it will be able to help him with is with the ERS. But we've seen last time out that Addy is an absolute master at managing his ERS. But Addy superb through turn one. I must be said, taking so much curb on the entry to the corner and just able to take such a wide entry into the corner. But here we go. Chazza on Dougie Aframan up towards turn two. He's going to go around the outside, and Chazza starting on the medium tyres. I didn't even notice. But Chazza now looking for some sort of switchback. Dougie gets a pretty good run now the corner. He's not going to make it very easy for Chazza. But Chazza now in overtake mode. He's going to have to go around the outside at turn four. Is he going to get the move done? No, he doesn't look like he's going to quite get the move done at the moment. He gets a pretty good run out the corner on Dougie Aframan. Is he going to go around the outside here into this left-hander? No, he is not going to do that. But Chazza looking very good here as Dougie Aframan's actually run a little bit wide here, and if Chazza sticks up the ERS, he can get past up the inside here into the second last corner. Is he going to do so? He's up the inside, and Dougie Aframan concedes the position, and Chazza is up into P3 in this race after starting all the way down. Let's see where Chazza started. Chazza started all the way in P11. So it's been a fantastic start here by Chazza. But he has a lot to do in this race. He is 5.5 seconds, or 5 seconds now, behind second place. And Bolt, who was within a second of Addy, he's fallen well out of that. He's now 1.8 seconds behind. So Bolt, I think, needs to just get in a little bit of a rhythm here to try to start to catch up to the back of Addy. Dougie Aframan, after he was overtaken by Chaz, second to last corner, now looking to try and make his way back through. I assume it's going to be a pretty hard feat, as Chaz is one of the quicker drivers in the league. But Dougie Aframan's doing a pretty good job at the moment. He's using these soft compound tyres to good effect, as Chaz is, of course, on those medium compounded tyres. Through 5 laps, the field is now just starting to separate, as Bolt has a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings here. Of course, it is quite easy to pick up some penalties on this track, and trust me, Jake Marsh, I agree. It is relatively annoying. But here we go. Testmeister up the inside, Chillicothe into turn one. Chillicothe just about manages to hold on to his position with a very nice move. Well, very nice hold of position around the outside, but here comes Testmeister down the first straight into turn two. Is he going to get the move done? Yes, he is up into turn three, actually. I apologise. And Testmeister now up into P8, but Chillicothe, he's going to come back at him. That's for sure. He's going to come back up the inside on those soft compound tyres. He's going to have bread and baking performance, more grip, even at this stage of the race. And he's back up into P8. That is for sure. Testmeister runs a little bit wide there, but he's still right in on the act here, as he's losing the rear end through the fast chicane, but he's still there with Chillicothe. If you can have a good last couple of corners, he could be in striking distance as they go into turn one. Chillicothe goes a little bit wide through the first part of the final sector, but Testmeister then was held up, I must say, as now they come down towards turn one. He's closing, but he's not going to be able to make a move. If he gets a good run out of here, he can potentially make a move up into turn three. And here we go. He now has opened the DRS. He's closing on the Alfa Romeo driver, and he's going to go up the inside into turn three. And that looks like it's going to be a fairly comfortable move for Testmeister up into P9. But Chillicothe is going to come back at him with the switchback once again. He's got the DRS, but he's got barely any ERS. And that's going to make it super difficult for the Alfa Romeo driver. And there you go. Testmeister up into P8. Or is it? He's actually run a little bit wide there. And now Chillicothe's got his car alongside again. Is he going to be able to get past? No, he's not. But now we must move into this battle here, which has emerged between Val and J Hobson UK for 5th place, as J Hobson UK is going defensive. Why on earth is he going defensive? He's just got to compromise his ride. And Val goes the final corner, but surely he runs wide. And indeed it is. J Hobson back up into 5th place, as Val tried to make a very audacious move up the inside the final corner, but J Hobson covers across Val's line and puts off his own braking performance there, goes into the grass, and Val is up into P5. That was an absolute mess, it must be said, by J Hobson UK there. I'm sure he'll be looking to get back on Val there. as he cuts the corner quite substantially and gets a 3-second time penalty in doing so, and has now lost the DRS window of 1 second to Val, I should say. And now he's going to have a Ferrari of Ragno. He's going to be quite fuming after the contact with Chilicular, I believe. But Ragno, he's looking the goods here as Ragno. If he didn't have this contact, I think he'd be in a much stronger position than what he is at the moment. As J Hobson UK, I'm not sure why he's going defensive, but he is, as Ragno, being super careful. As I was saying pre-race, there seems to be a little bit of cloud, and it has clouded over. It looks like there is the potential for on the race as J Hobson UK goes all the way to the right-hand side of the track. It's almost as if he's trying to let Ragno through, and Ragno gets the move done and is up into P5 in the Grand Prix. A very easy move, it must be said. J Hobson UK just seemingly let him through. And we're on lap 9 already out of 36 as this race is absolutely flying by. As Chilicular is still behind. Oh, and what's going on here? And he's made a mistake and he's down into P2 in the race. And it also looks like he's missing some front wing. Yes, he is. He's missing some front wing on his right-hand side. And bowls into the lead of the Grand Prix. A mistake once more by Addy when he's in the lead or in a winning position. It's early on this time, so he can fix it. He can still come back in this Grand Prix, but he's suffering with chronic understeer, and surely he has to pit, but he's hit Chazza! Chazza's running to the back of him! Oh my goodness gracious me! And he parked in the middle of the track going through the second to last corner, and Chazza has hit the back of him, and Chazza will be absolutely fuming with that! Oh my goodness gracious me! He's not only cost himself P1 there with his mistake, but now he's also cost Chazza P2 with that mistake as well. Oh dearie me, he's had an absolute mare here as Testameister is getting pressured by Chilicular here into turn 3. It's not going to be close enough. He's not going to be close enough, but if he can get a good run with these soft compound tyres as it's just starting to rain. Oh no, it goes from bad to worse for Chazza. And I don't know even what I'm saying now, but Chilicular here, he's going to try go up the inside of Testameister. Is he going to be close enough? No, he's not. He's going to allow Testameister to go back through, but of course, now that Addy and Chazza have just pitted, and I assume they're not going to be on intermediate tyres, and no, they've gone onto dry tyres. Oh no. Oh no. Absolute disaster for these two drivers, and now they're going to have to come back through the field as it looks like the rain is coming down pretty heavily as J Hobson UK is coming into the pit lane already. Is he going to go on the intermediate tyres already? Let's see. I think that that is quite busted actually, as he's actually getting a new front wing and he's gone onto the medium compounded tyres. That's absolutely puzzling unless he had damage, but still, surely you try to stay out. Just weather the wet conditions at the moment on track and go onto the intermediate tyres, because it seems like surely in the next couple of laps they're going to have to switch over to the dry tyres, as Ragno is all over the back of Val here, as I've nearly missed that out through all of this chaos that is unfolded in the last couple of laps, and it's only going to get more chaotic here as the rain is coming down and all these drivers are on the dry compounded tyres. As Dougie and Val, you can see, are struggling with these conditions oh so much. Ragno seemed to be able to cope a little bit more with these conditions, but he isn't being able to do anything with it, as he's not being able to actually close too much on Val. Speaking of Val, there we go. Ragno with them. He's going to capitalise on the mistake from Val, and he's going to go up into P3. Is Ragno, unless Val throws it up the inside, and of course he throws it up the inside, but he misbrakes. He's misjudges the braking zone, and he goes miles off the circuit. But Ragno can't even capitalise. But here we go. Ragno, Val comes across. He doesn't come off the racing line completely. But Val, he's outbroken himself there as Val. Bye-bye. He's off the track. And Ragno is up into P3 in this Grand Prix. And we've also seen Maverick here benefit quite a bit from just the start of these wet conditions. He's always been very good in these mixed weather conditions. Has Maverick as he nearly understeers into the back of Chili Killer there. As the conditions are looking rather treacherous at the moment. Out on track, it's surely a matter of time before they come in for the intermediate tyres. Of course, the time to go onto the intermediate tyres is when the DRS is disabled, but they've pulled the trigger earlier for Chili Killer and Maverick here. They've come into the pits. Let's see if Addy is going to do the same. No, he runs wide and continues on. Testameister cuts across. What's Chazza going to do? Is Chazza going to come into the pit lane? Yes, he is, and there you go. That's how you come into the pit lane properly. As Chazza comes into the pit. Certainly not how you come to the pit lane properly, as now Jay Hobson comes into the pits for intermediate tyres, as does Skull, as does King No Skill, and Ayrton Spencer is already on the intermediate tyres himself. But Maverick, a big winner from all of that chaos which unfolded with Chazza and Addy, and he's found himself up into a legitimate 6th place. So Maverick in a very strong position here, and this is, I think, the first time that we've seen wet running in a Grand Prix. So the drivers are going to have to really tiptoe around at the start, build some confidence in these conditions, find where the limit of grip is, and build on that. As you can see, Maverick here, he's being rather cautious, it must be said. But this is going to be a massive lap for him, because he could gain quite a few positions here. As Lollapower seemingly has no grip, and Val's understeered into him. As now Lollapower's coming to the pit lane, and Val's had an absolute mare. He's spun across the middle of the track here at the final corner. He's facing the wrong way, as Addy is now into the pits ahead of him. And Val's had to continue on for another lap on the dry compounder tyres. Oh, dearie me, the Alfa Romeo driver, the Italian driver Val, has had an absolute mare there. He's had an absolute stinker, and he's continuing on these dry compound tyres for another lap, and he can barely keep the car on track. But Maverick, with pitting on the perfect lap, he's now up into what would be a net P2. What an absolute masterclass that has been by Maverick DC88. As Chili Killer and Ragnar are going side by side into turn 3. But Chili Killer looks like he is going to come out ahead in that battle. As you can see, Maverick in the Mercedes just struggling a little bit more with these conditions at the moment, even though he is on fresher tyres. But these lots surely are going to be closing up to the back of Val on this lap. And I'm sure Val is literally a bus in the middle of the road. But Val, who was having a very good race, battling around P6, P7, with that mistake, understeering into low power at the final corner, and then going spinning around all over the track. He's going to cost himself here, and Val should really be getting out the way here, and there we go. He's going to try and get out the way here. Let's see if he can get the car stopped. He just about does, but he has to come back across the other side. Circuit nearly collects the Ferrari. Oh my goodness gracious me, it's an absolute mess here in Austria, as Val has finally made it into the pits, and he's going to put on some intermediate tyres as Ragnar runs wide out of turn 1. But let's see what Chili Killer can do here. He's in overtake mode. He's going to try to make a move on Maverick down here into turn 3. But he's not going to be able to quite get it done here, as Maverick, I must say, parks the bus very well on the apex of the corner. And going for Man United, he will be very well accustomed to doing so. As Lollpower has put on the wet compounded tyre, but Chili Killer, I thought he was going to make a move there, but he decided against it. But he's actually got a pretty good run out of turn 4, has he? He's going to try and go around the outside of Maverick. Is he going to? He's going to show more confidence in these intermediate tyres. He is not, as he stays behind Maverick for the moment. And after absolutely all of that chaos and absolute carnage, Bolt has a 13-second lead as Chili Killer, touching that exit curb, nearly goes spinning into the wall. That was very, very close. You could see him lose the rear end. And I thought that was going to be absolute night-night for Chilikilla. But he managed to regain control of his car. So it seems like Chilikilla's certainly taking the break a little bit earlier approach here into a lot of these, whereas you see Maverick still braking, perhaps you'd say a little bit too late and running a little bit wide through the exits, through the apex of the corner. But let's go a little bit further back, and here we go. We have Addy and Chazza in P7 and P8, and I'm sure if Chazza is to catch up to the back of Addy, that let's say it's going to be sent. It's going to be absolutely sent by Chazza if these two are able to close up on track. And I know for a fact that Chazza is running about 2-3 rings, so I'm sure he is having an absolute splendid time at the moment. I think that would be the most appropriate word to say. At the moment, Addy is being held up here by the McLaren, and it must be said, these drivers are all converging in on each other, from Maverick all the way down to Chazza, as Addy is trying everything he can to get on the power through that chicane, and he can't do it. He can't quite get it done on Testameister at the moment. Oh, as he nearly loses the rear end, he's struggling all over the place as Addy with the rear end there. He just about keeps it on circuit. Up into P, he's in P7 at the moment, and here we go. Chazza, who's gained about a second just in that final sector alone. Chazza, he should be on the back of these drivers by the end of the lap here. Oh, as we had some movement here. Chilikilla trying to go up the inside of Ragno. Ragno goes wide off of the circuit though, and Chilikilla is going to surely get back ahead of Ragno here as they going side by side down. But Chilikilla, not only he once again moves over on Ragno, the braking zone, and taking out from Edison, and the Ragno has hit him as well. Oh my goodness gracious me! And Ragno, oh my goodness, has Chazza been able to survive that? I don't know if he has, but once again the Alfa Romeo Chilikilla moving over on cars in a straight line has caused an absolute cataclysmic accident there, which has taken out 3 drivers, and oh my goodness gracious me. As Chazza did suffer damage in that contact, and he's going to have to come in the pit lane as he just about gets it slowed down. Oh my goodness gracious me. As Testameister comes into the pits, as Val has remained unscathed from that incident. I tell you what, Ragno has had to wait for Chazza, of course, as Chazza and Ragno are teammates in that Ferrari. But boy, oh boy, wowee, that was some accident right there. As now Ayrton Spinner, after all of that chaos, is up in the P4, even after his drive-through penalty for jumping the start very early on in the race. And Maverick is up into P2 much more comfortably than what he was previously. Addy up into P3 after his mistake, which of course cost him lead the race. But Val has also somehow survived that, as well, Dougie Afferman is absolutely fuming in the chat, and I think he has every right to be caught up in someone else's incident. It is a very unfortunate set of circumstances there, especially when that accident was completely avoidable. We've seen it in Canada, and we've seen it again here in Austria. As it must be said now, after 19 laps, the field is a little bit separate. It's a little bit separated, I should say. The closest gap is the gap between Val and Ayrton Spinner, and it is 1.5 seconds. So I do need to have a little bit of a drink of water. There's Dougie Afferman saying, what am I meant to do? Chaz reversing out into Milan. What's that about? I mean, we couldn't see from Chaz's view, but let's just be said that the Chiller Killer had a very, very avoidable accident with Ragno, and that's why all of that chaos unfolded. I'm sure Chazza was just trying to avoid the incident itself, but oh dear. I'm sure that there'll be a couple of penalties involved in that. As it looks like it's actually dried up again. It's just stopped raining. That's very interesting. And here we go. Ayrton Spencer. He's going to pull the trigger very early. He's going to come in for the dry compounded tyres. It's only rained for a little bit. Yes, DRS enabled. He's come into the pits at the perfect time as Ayrton Spencer. Also along with Val, J Hobson UK, now Chazza. Everyone else is going to fundle into the pit lane. And meanwhile, the top three, Addy, Maverick and Bolt, are all stuck out there. Intermediate tyres on a very drying track, and you can see there that Bolt's tyres are overheating quite a bit here. As he's struggling with the rear end through the middle part of the track, I should say. And here we go through the final corner now. Can he get the car stopped? Just about. As he now trundles into the pit lane. Can he get it slowed down to the 80 kilometre pit lane speed limit? And indeed he does. As Ayrton Spencer, I assume, had some sort of penalty as Val has jumped him in the pit stops here. As Val is up, he's passed his teammate into P4. But let's see if Val is going to be able to gain any positions. I don't know if he will. Looking at it just now, based on the gaps. But there we go. Bolt back out into the lead on the medium compounded tyres on lap 21 out of 36. Followed by Maverick, who's just coming out of the pit lanes himself. And now Addy, he's come on and pitted onto the soft compounded tyres. Along with Val, a little bit further back. Ayrton Spencer's got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I assume that is through the final corner, and indeed it is. As we're just waiting to see where everyone comes out after these pit stops. As now Chiller Killer comes in for his pit stop to put on the dry compounded tyres, and there you go. He puts on the soft compounded tyre, as he has a lap Toro Rosso. So lapped Racing Point car, I should say, heading into turn 1. They might have to contend with. And Ragnar all the way down to the P10. It's been certainly not a good race for Ragnar, and he's been involved in many incidences so far as Ragnar, and many of them have not been his fault so far this season. And I'm sure that the Italian is going to be absolutely fuming, and he's now going to come out alongside Skull. Is he in the Toro Rosso? Skull here with the slipstream. Is he going to try and make a move up into turn 3? He's surely going to send it up the inside. No, he thinks better of it, does Skell. And he stays behind Ragnar at the moment. You can see how much more grip I think Ragnar has on those tyres, being on the soft compound tyres compared to Skell on the medium compounded tyres. As King No Skill now is trying to make a move here on his teammate, the McLaren driver. But he's not going to be able to do so at the moment. As JB saying, I thought Chazza was out of control due to Chiller Killer. No, that was Ragno. That was Ragno and Chiller Killer. I'm not entirely sure where Chazza fitted into that. I'm sure we'll see through Twitter. I will try to share any footage that does come out. So do keep an eye out on my Twitter. It is Niblo331, and of course the Nemesis Online Racing League Twitter page. Oh, you meant Ragno. Okay. Well, Ragno was out of control. Ragno was absolutely out of control after his contact with Chiller Killer. If you go back in the stream a little bit, you'll be able to see that he got absolutely squeezed into the wall for absolutely no reason. As Val has picked up 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings, and there we go. Ragno is absolutely flown past King No Skill. That's caught me off guard there. And Ragno has moved himself up into P10. He's the man on the mission at the moment. Is Ragno. Seems to be very quick. But after he gets past Testameister here, which you'd assume he does so, especially with Testameister being on the medium compounded tyre, he then has a 13-second gap to Chiller Killer. So that is going to be some gap to make up in what exactly isn't exactly the most amount of time. Ragnar versus Inter Milan. All right, well, we'll have to see from your on board, but certainly from what we've seen here, that Ragnar was certainly at no fault in the initial contact between himself and the Alfa Romeo. As Ragnar is gaining on Testameister here into turn 3, he's going to take a very nice wide line and get a very good... Testameister just like stalled or something, because Ragnar's literally driven past him like he's not even there. Right, okay, Ragnar said bye-bye to both the McLarens now, and he's actually absolutely a man on the mission at the moment, as that gap to Chilikill, as we were just mentioning, that it was 16 seconds, it's now 14 seconds, as Ayrton Spinner has gone spinning around at the last corner, and now he's going to lose position to, he's already lost position to Chazza in P5, and now he loses position to J Hobson UK in P6 here, as he now picked up another 3-second time penalty for cutting corners or track extending. But I think that, there you go, Ragnar set the fastest lap so far, a 1 minute 7.9. He is absolutely flying, and at this rate, he could catch up to Chilikill and spend in this in these lots. So who knows what Ragnar can do with these. We're on lap 25 to 36, so not too long left in the race. And I think one thing that we're going to have to watch out for here is Maverick and Addy. Addy is certainly gaining on the Mercedes drivers. Addy, there you go, sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix so far, 1 minute 7.7. He is certainly gaining on the Mercedes driver, but let's see if these soft compounded tyres are going to go the distance in this race. As now Chazza sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix at 1 minute 7.5. And somehow, after all of this chaos, starting P11, being taken out by Addy, who was in the middle of the track when he needed to pit after he lost some front wing. Then he had to pit. Then he had to pit again for some soft for wet tyres. And then he had to pit again after all of the chaos that unfolded. And then he had to pit again. So Chazza has had many a pit stop, and he has to save some fuel here, does Chazza. Let's actually see how many pit stops he's had. He's had 4 pit stops, and he's somehow all the way up in 5th place. So Chazza, you can see that the pace is there, but very unfortunate today getting involved in some instances so far in this Grand Prix. And he's struggling a little bit here through the middle sector, but I'm sure he will be absolutely okay with that. And we're just going to watch an off-board camera of Addy at the moment as he catches up to the Mercedes driver. And of course, we have Bolt out in the lead of the Grand Prix by 20 seconds. Very comfortable for the Renault driver ever since Addy made that mistake in the early stages of the Grand Prix, went spinning around and lost some front wing. It looked like on the exit to turn 4 is where he probably made that mistake. We didn't quite catch it on the stream, but we've certainly seen him rejoining the track back on turn 4. So I've just seen finally, officially, all the roster moves have been announced, even though they were leaked on the SL page yesterday. Nice. Addy now, he's closing up to the back of Maverick, as now we have full sunny conditions. So we're going from about these conditions to the start of the race to overcast, then to rain, and then all the way back to complete another dry conditions. As you can see how much more confident Addy is through the corners than Maverick with the extra grip that those soft compounded tyres brings him. And he's now going to be nearly within a second of Maverick here, and it's going to be a very, very tough task to keep the Haas driver behind. But let's see what Maverick can do. He has made some pretty spectacular defensive drives in the past in this league, and let's see if he can do something similar here to hold off the Haas driver. As after all that screaming and shouting earlier on, my throat has now just started to get a little bit sore. As Addy through the middle part of the track, where of course there are a lot more corners starting to gain on Maverick. He's gained about half a second alone in the middle sector, and now through these very fast. Ended corners in the last sector. I'm assuming he's going to gain just even more time on the Mercedes driver. And look at that, as we have Chazza up into P4 past Val, and Val has been in the wars. He's been off the track, as you can see. He hasn't just dropped past Chazza. He's fallen back way behind Chazza. He's been off the track. You could see on his tyres just as we went on board there. And Addy has got past Maverick already, up towards turn 3, I should say. And there you go. No defensive masterclass from Maverick this time. He's very happy. And at the moment, if he can just stay in this position, he is going to take home a P3 in this race. And I don't think he was expecting that when he started all the way. Well, he started in P7 actually, but I think he had a pretty tough start to the race. I think because we didn't see him too far up. So I think he might have been involved in also that lap 1 chaos that was also involving Chillakiller and Ragno, I've just noticed. So Chillakiller and Ragno in the wars today with each other. As now Chillakiller is closing up to the back of the Renault driver of Ayrton Spencer. So Addy has set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix at 1 minute 7.3, and he is really flying as he's now just picked up a 3-second time penalty. And now he just needs to make sure he doesn't actually pick up penalties because, well, let's see if he could. He could lose second place here on penalties to Maverick because I haven't, in all fairness, I haven't seen Maverick pick up too many penalties so far this race. So let's see. Now Chillakiller in the basking Austrian sunshine. He's gaining here on the Renault driver. But he's using absolutely no ERS at the moment, it must be said. At the moment. But closing in on the braking zone into turn 3. He's looking for some sort of switchback here on the Renault driver. As I need to blow my nose, so I have to plug up my mic. Sorry. Using the wrong cord for my microphone at the moment, so I couldn't just, mute myself. I had to actually pull out my microphone, so I do apologise for that, as I've absolutely sneezed all over my screen. As I'll read Doug Affman's message in the chat in a moment. This does seem pretty interesting. Yeah, but Chillakiller in a good position to pounce on any mistake made by the Renault driver here, as he has a very good turn 8 and now through turn 9. Chillakiller on the run down to turn 1. He's using his ERS. He's in overtake mode. He's going to try and go up the inside of the Renault driver. Is he going to get the move done? Yes, he is. Up the inside of Ayrton Spencer into turn 1. And now the Renault driver is going to be looking to bounce back, but he has nothing to answer for at the moment. Does Ayrton Spencer, and it looks like Chillakiller is just going to absolutely drive away from him at this moment in time. And yes, he is indeed. I wonder what tyre. Yes, Ayrton Spencer's on the medium compound tyres. I'm about to say he has so much more grip out of the corner, does Chillakiller, and that explains why he's on the soft compounded tyre. And he's absolutely flown away, as we have now Skell coming into the pit lane from P13 in this Grand Prix. And here we go. Here's Dougie Affman's message in the chat. I've been angry at NRL plenty of times, especially this race, but I've never been this upset before. Probably for me at NRL, it's been fun though. Well, that is very unfortunate if if this is to be your final race. I know many people are frustrated with what has been going on so far this season. So trust me on this. You are not the only one, and I really do hope you stay along, because you're a good driver. You have integrity. You drive fair. As Colin, what on earth was that? And it would be really, really sad to see you leave the league. It must be said, and I think that comes from everyone here involved with the Nemesis Online Racing League Championship. As Chillakiller is now closed up to the back of the Red Bull driver Jay Hobson UK here, And already we're on lap 32 of 36. The race has absolutely flown by. Of course, the lap is pretty short here in Austria. So let's see now what Chiller Killer can do. Can he get his way past J Hobson UK for P6? It does look like he has much superior pace to J Hobson UK here at the moment. He's able to carry so much more speed through the corners as Ragnar's coming to the pit lane here from P10. It looks like he's had enough of these soft compound tyres. He wants to have some fun, and he wants to finish these races on a fresh set of soft compound tyres. There we go, and I assume he's going to try and set the fastest lap of the race there, but he may not finish in P11 in P10, you know. So let's see if Ragnar is able to get the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Chillicott still fighting. He's in P7 at the moment as they come now into the lap of the lap. He's just not able to be close enough to J Hobson where it matters. But J Hobson UK running wide through turn 8 now and through turn 9. If Chillicott can get a good run, he may be able to make a move here into turn 1. He puts it up into overtake mode. He's going to try to go for the move here into turn 1. Is the Alfa Romeo driver. But J Hobson UK just about ahead. And he stays ahead into turn 1. But now, on the run up to turn 3, it looks like he has so much more air to play with, does the Alfa Romeo driver. He's going to go around the outside of the Red Bull driver. No, he comes back with a very nice switch back here. But it doesn't look he's quite got the traction here. J Hobson seemingly with the better traction, who now defends the inside line. Chilligill going to have to go around the outside here. Is he going to get the move done? The Red Bull driver forcing him wide. But he's got the move done. There's the Alfa Romeo driver. Chillicott up into P6 in this Grand Prix. And he'll be pretty happy with that after what has been, well, a very chaotic race. Let's just put it that way for Chillicott, who somehow actually isn't out of the Grand Prix. Because, well, if the damage was anywhere near realistic, he would be well and truly out of this Grand Prix. But I've just noticed here that Maverick is now 1.6 seconds behind Addy. Is Addy's tyres just now starting to fall off? Are these runners on the medium compounded tyres just starting to come back in it here? With 3 laps remaining, we're on lap 34 out of 36 here in round number 9 of the Nemesis Online Racing League Championship here at Austria, as Ayrton Spence has been disqualified for receiving multiple penalties. Oh, dearie me. And whereabouts was Ayrton Spence in this race? He was in P8, but that is still an absolute disaster for Ayrton Spence. And I think that all much but guarantees if Ragnar can have a very good last couple of laps, he will get the fastest lap of the race. As never mind, he's coming to the pit lane. So I think that plan has been aborted. Let's just put it that way. Is Maverick. Has Maverick made a mistake? Because he's just dropped quite a bit of time here to Addy. Unless this is some sort of timing glitch. I'm not too sure what's happened here, because Maverick was 1.6 seconds behind Addy, but now it is 11.6. And now Chazza is 5.3, unless he made a mistake, which we have not seen, and I think he has. Yeah, I think he has somewhere. Yep. He has indeed made a mistake somewhere, whilst Ragnar was coming into the pits. Because the gap was 1.5, and then it jumped all the way up to 12 seconds very, very suddenly. As we're now on the final lap of the Grand Prix, and we're just gonna watch off board here from Bolt's perspective, unless Chillicott and Jay Hobson get close once again. But yeah, I'm sure that the chat is going to be absolutely on fire after this race. Let's put it that way. So we're just gonna enjoy Bolt here. We're just gonna enjoy this lap. It has been a very comfortable race for him after Addy's mistake in the first stint, say around lap 8 or so, lap 8 or 9. Here we go. He's coming. He's just about to come through the second sector split for the very final time. And now he only has 2 corners remaining in this Austrian Grand Prix. And here we go through turn 8 now. And he's going to come through turn 9 right now. And here we go. It's going to be Bolt back in the winners column here at Austria. And what has been a very comfortable win after absolute scenes earlier on in this race. A massive crash involving Dougie Aframan, Ragno, Chazar, the half the grid basically. Chili Killer as well as Addy. I'm sure he'll be disappointed to come home in P2. He really could have won this race today, but P2 he will still take that podium result, and it's going to be runners up once again for the Haas driver. But Maverick, he finishes P3, his first podium since coming back into the league, and I'm sure he'll be absolutely thrilled. He's had a tough couple of races the last few times out, but he's back on the podium. Is Maverick going to be absolutely thrilled with that? Shazza, after making 4 pit stops, has somehow finished in P4. Val has finished in P5. Chiller Killer P6. Jay Hobson UK in P7. Tester Meister in 8th. King No Skill 9th. Murcielago 10th. Scout 11th. Ragno, who are waiting to finish, is just driving into the wall. So Ragno will finish 12th. Lola Power finished 13th. Doug Gaffman, Ed and Ethan Spenner have all either retired or been disqualified from the session. And there we go. Bolt extends his championship lead over Ed, who was unable to race tonight. And it's going to be a rather big lead now. It's going to be around about 40 points, and after 9 races, it's going to be quite an uphill battle for Ed to come back in this championship. Bolt, very consistent. He had a poor race last time. Now that's because he was literally using a hot spot. But he's certainly put himself in a very good position in this very early stages of the championship. He certainly is the favourite at the moment. But there we go. We'll run through the classification one more time before ending the stream. We have Bolt winning from Addy in 2nd, Maverick in 3rd, Chazza in 4th, Val in 5th, Chiller Killer 6th, Jay Hobson UK in 7th, Testameister in 8th, King No Skill in 9th, Murcielago 10th, who gets the point in his home Grand Prix. Skull in 11th, Ragno in 12th, Lola Power 13th, Doug Afman 14th, and Edson Spanner, who was disqualified, finishes down in 16th. But that is going to be it from me tonight. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We had about 11 people or so watching in at some stages, so thank you very much for tuning in, and yeah, we'll see you here. No, I think I don't know what we're going on with the schedule. I assume we're going to have a break for Christmas and for New Year. So whenever we see you next, of course, it will be on a Sunday night at 9:30 p.m. Central European Time, which is 8:30 p.m. UK time, and 7:30 a.m. here on a Monday morning in Australia. But keep your eyes tuned and peeled on the Nemesis Online Racing Twitter page to find out when the next race is. So yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in for what's been a very eventful race, and yeah, we'll see you next time. I hope you all have a fantastic day, and we'll see you later.